Hey everyone, Steph here from Old Guy Bounce Plastic. Recently, one of my viewers asked if I could record a video of the Toolhead teardown. It just so happens that recently I've had an issue with my uh, uh, A-belt on the right-hand side of this Voron V2, and so I need to replace the belt that's running through there. And so while I needed to pull the tool head off anyway, I figured that would be a good time to record how to disassemble the tool head at least. I may record another video later showing how to assemble the tool head again. But to disassemble the tool head, I started by first of all backing off any filament from the extruder. So the filament is now retracted up into the Bowden tube. And we're going to start with disassembly. Now in this case, what I'm working with is a Galileo 2 standalone extruder. I have a EBB 36 on the back, and I have the Rapid Burner V8 tool head down below. There's a few things going on here. So I need to replace this belt, so I need to get behind the tool head anyway. I also see that this fan has basically come undone, so I'm going to need to either fix that or address or maybe replace that fan. And so we're going to do that as part of this process. So to begin with, I want to first remove any zip ties that are in place, and I can see that there's a couple here. Let me just get at it properly to make sure that I don't accidentally clip a wire, because that would be bad. We'll just remove those zip ties. The printer is powered on currently, so the next thing, before I go any further, I should power off the printer, because what we're going to do here, none of it requires the printer motion to be in place. So give me a second, I'm going to get at that right now. All right, so let's see, there's another zip tie here. Let's just trim that. Start by removing the Bowden tube from this ECAS 04 coupler. That could just hang loose. So I do have here CAN bus wires for my EBB 36, and in this 3DO cable, not only are there 4 CAN bus wires, but 4 USB wires that run down below to my beacon probe at the bottom of the tool head. So once again, removing zip ties, because there's another one down here. I remove this tension arm because it gives easier access to the screw behind it. Let's see, so where to begin? If I remove the shroud first, I think that might make the most sense. The cowl, rather, for the Rapid Burner. So the Rapid Burner mounts with these 2 screws through the front cowl. And this is the cowl part here. There is another zip tie over on this side, so I'm just clipping it. I should be free to slide the cowl forward, although it is attached at the bottom as well. Or is it on this one? No, it is not. All right, let's do this. Just see if this fan is going to be salvageable or not. Well, I think we should be good once I reassemble that later. Okay, so that's out of the way. We can see here that I have the LED assembly for the rapid burner tool head. It's wired through the hot end mount here between the hot end and the extruder mounts. So to remove those, just got to remember if I'm in here with, I feel like that's the right one. Let me pop, oh, I apologize for throwing the shot off there. 1 second. Let me pop the extruder off first, and we'll take that from there. So now with the extruder removable, we can see that there's a little bit of PTFE tube in the middle here as well. So that's a 2mm inner diameter, 4mm outer diameter PTFE tube to just kind of bridge the gap between the extruder and the hot end. So it's just a short little piece. Before I continue, I'd like to remove the EBB36 from the back of the assembly. So there are 2 screws back here. You won't be able to see from the angle you're at, but I remove these 2 screws and we should see that the EBB36 can come away from the assembly. All right. Now before I go too much further, I want to disconnect all the various wires from the back of the EBB36. So I'll start with my CAN bus connector. I have this USB connector on the back of the beacon, so that allows my umbilical to go free. And then there's a number of wires connected into the EBB36. There's the motor cable removed. Now let's try to get the probe off. There we go. Our X end stop is done. Remove the RGB cables. What do we have left? We have the fans and the hot end wires, the hot end thermistor and hot end heater. I'm going to remove these this PCB mount, detach it from the standoffs that you see here, the blue standoffs. The screw, another one on the other side, right here. And then to finish removing the PCB mount, there's also 2 lugs at the bottom, which I should be able to access from here. All right, now with all of that, I can remove the PCB mount. That's a Chirpy design found on his GitHub. Let's see here. Let's give us some slack. I can now pop the extruder off the top. I may not disassemble everything 100%, but I wanted to get access to these parts to show you how that connects. So that's the entire LED assembly for the Dragon burner. Now to remove the hot end mount, there's 2 more screws embedded in here. And that's the hot end removed. Just pop those screws out and down. All right, so what's left? This is my XN stop, which is mounted on the back of my carriage part. I've got my beacon here. This part is still serviceable. It is a custom part that I cobbled together based on Chirpy's design, which itself is based on the original Voron V2X carriage part. And I customized it because I'm using an MGN 9H rail, a linear rail for X, instead of an MGN 12H. So it's the screw hole pattern for this is different than the standard stock Voron part. I'm going to leave the beacon attached at the bottom because I'll reuse this part, but I need to remove it from the carriage in order to remove this belt that I need to replace. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that, these 4 screws in the middle. And so far these are all MGN, or not, M3 socket head cap screws. So using an M2.5 driver, hex driver to remove these. Come on. Might need a little twist more. There we go. Chirpy does have a new design of this carriage part that's modular and allows for different configurations depending on the hot end you're using and whether or not you have a probe at the bottom, whether or not you want an end stop on the back for a physical microswitch end stop. This is just the part that I had originally. It's working, everything connects and meets up fine. But like I said, I did have to do some customizing of the part to get it to fit. And I started that myself, again, based on Chirpy's design, which is the redesign of the Voron part. And then I probably had some assistance from other people because CAD skills are not my best, not my strong suit. So I ended up boring some other people with better CAD skills than I had to finalize that part. All right, so now we're ready to remove the belts from the back here. I do have, in addition to this part, I have a little plate on the back, and if I can pull this off, I'll show you what I'm talking about. We'll see. So this little plate here is just a spacer plate, and the reason for this plate is because the MGN 9 carriage, which you see here, actually sits further back. It's not as deep as the MGN 12H carriage. And it's a difference, that gap is a difference of about 3 millimeters. So this plate is approximately 3 millimeters thick, and its sole purpose is to bring the belts forward so that the belts are not angled in like this towards the rail. There we go. That's that plate removed. I'll again reuse that part later. Looks like I have some melting issues here with this part, so I may end up reprinting this part on a future pass once I get the belt reinstalled, but it's serviceable for now. I'll probably need to fix it properly in a future build. Just pop these screws through if I can. There we go. All right, so again, I'm going to leave the XN stop on here because I'm going to reuse this part at least temporarily. I'm going to leave the beacon on there. Sadly, that connector is being pressed back, so this really needs to be replaced. That'll probably be my next order of business once I get these belts back in place here. So let's go ahead and pull the belts back through. This top one's the one that's really critical, but I should probably rerun that bottom one as well. And now I should be able to pull this belt right through because it's going to come all the way out. And let's pop the other belt through because we'll rerun them both just to be on the safe side, but this belt can stay in the belt path. So yeah, there we have it. That's the tool head disassembled, and obviously assembly is more or less in reverse order. And now I get to go have the fun of rebelting my A belt. So I do have some replacement Gates belts that I can use for this. Don't know if I'm going to be using GT2 or GT2 PDM. I also have some GT3 belts on the way, but I think I want to get it up and running today, so I'm not going to wait on those GT3 belts. So I'm going to go ahead and start that in my next step. But that's the end of this video. Hopefully to the user that asked for the disassembly video, this will be useful. Again, my specific configuration with a number of modded parts, but that's how it goes together. All right, thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the comments below.